I want to hop on to Duolingo. I'll pretend like I'm someone trying to learn Japanese, but I'll also bring my experience and for someone who has learned Japanese for a long time. And then we'll see how it goes. Why are we learning a language? Brain training, family and friends, travel, culture, other, job opportunities, school. Brain training and also culture, you know? I think that's probably true for the most of us, right? Now chose a daily goal. This is kind of where it starts, right? 20 minutes a day is not intense. It's nice that they try not to overwhelm you, but it's like if you have 20 minutes a day, that is like you're studying, right? That's not intense. So like this is already, I'll do serious. So if you seriously think about learning Japanese and you want to make good progress, and I mean like I want to have progress where in a year I can actually sit down, maybe read a manga, I can actually sit down and maybe talk to someone a little bit. It's gonna be hard, but you should maybe think about like an hour a day and not 15 minutes a day. Like, I'm sorry, but it's a bit of a false hope or a false pretense to call 20 minutes a day intense, especially for Japanese. But I get it's, you know, it's not the audience, maybe like they try and cater to a very casual sort of audience. So I understand, but it's a bit of it's giving you false hopes, really. So we'll go with serious, right? Learning Japanese for the first time. So this is where I will start. Actually, if we have time, I will try this one as well, just to see what it does. But I'm gonna start from scratch. Chi. Okay, that's fine. Okay, right? Like this is fine. Like what sound does this make? Chi. So that's fine. I'm okay with this. You learn like what it looks like. Sure, they could present you. Okay, so like let's take notes. Why not? Let's take notes. But for that, so we'll use Notion for taking notes. Okay, Notion is a pretty good software. Duo or don't so. Duo or don't-o. That's my version of good or bad. Well, it sounds like a native speaker recording. So it doesn't sound like a computer voice. So that's good. Chi. You can hear it, you can see it, and you have some options here. Okay, so that's good, right? That's a positive. Let's do a negative as well. You know, you don't get a lot of variety in your fonts. So let's pretend like I'm someone learning to write the kana, right? So maybe I have a piece of paper with me. Let's pretend like, you know, I'm a beginner. I have maybe got a piece of paper here with me to write on. So what would I write when I see this, right? Well, I'd probably do something like this, right? Which, like, that's not horrible, but it's not very pretty. I wish they would just provide like maybe a little animation, right? So how could we improve this experience? Well, I would say, you know, Duo, give me a little animation. How am I supposed to write this character? Or show me a bunch of different fonts. That'd be really nice, right? That would be, I think, a brilliant and very easy sort of improvement for this. Where's the intro? Like, what am I doing? What is this I'm looking at? Like, what even is happening, right? What the hell even am I supposed to understand at this point? I opened up Duolingo, I said I've never learned Japanese, and now they're showing me this hieroglyphic. I don't know what this is. It says it's chi. What does that mean? Like I know that Duolingo has the approach of being as like easy and beginner friendly as possible, but is it really not to be expected of people to at least read like a sentence about what it is you're doing? How much easier would it be, right? If it was me making Duolingo, I would start with this, right? Right, first we will learn the Hiragana, a syllable script that Japanese uses, where every character represents a syllable or sound. Like, is that hard? You know, is it that hard for the average person to understand this kind of language? Like, it would just be so much less confusing. I'm also the kind of person that likes to get information. I can understand that a lot of people probably open this up and be like, let's just go. Let's go. They are supposed to be very easy, right? But then they do throw you into the cold water quite a bit. Sometimes simple is just lacking an explanation. That is the biggest problem I have with Duolingo, is the way that they advertise themselves seems pretty far removed from what they actually do. I just don't think that the approach needs to be that holistic. I don't think there's anything wrong with giving a person a paragraph. So let's go, let's continue. So I'm gonna go, boom, nice job, thank you. Again, I'm okay with the voice recordings. It's maybe a bit minimalistic. Maybe we could have like a word that uses E, but maybe that would be too much. I'm not sure. It's hard. Pronunciation is really hard, so I'm gonna give them a pass. It is machine generated. Yeah, but these sounds are fine. This could be a human recording for all I care. Like, this is fine. For the kana so far has been fine. So I'm gonna go with the I. And then also, I don't mind them just throwing romanization at you like this, because luckily, Japanese romanization is pretty straightforward. So like, you should probably understand. Match the pairs. Okay, so now, okay, we're doing this. So chi, ni. So this, we're getting introduced to ni, because we haven't seen that before, obviously. I'm trying to do that. Ni. Cool. Okay, and now words. Which is one? Ichi. So, okay, this is where, okay, and I will actually defend this. This is where everyone gets mad because they're like, no, you can just click on the one. Okay, that's true, but you're trying to learn a language. So, okay, here's the thing, I guess. I think both sides have a point. First of all, the people that say, oh, you can just click on the number and you can ignore the other stuff. Fair enough, that's true. But also the point would be that you learn to associate the word with the concept, right? Which is how language learning works. So I don't blame them for that. However, for a platform that that claims to not assume anything, claims to be very easy and beginner friendly, I feel like they could tell that to people, no? They could say like, hey, by the way, try to actually read the word and not just click the thing. If you know how to learn a language, then this will be obvious to you. But maybe if you've never done it, you actually forget that, oh, I should actually read the word. I don't know. That seems like I'm patronizing people, but maybe that's something they should mention. Which one is the one? Ichi, yoku, ni. Oh, there we go. Getting the pitch wrong. I should go back to my own classes. What's the pitch of one? Because the pitch of one is ichi, I think, and ichi is the other one. So, not that that matters that much, but as someone who claims to care about pitch, I should probably try and care. Ichi. And then place, this would be ichi, if you can hear the difference. And actually, they do ichi. Ichi. Can you hear how it goes up? That's basically what it is. If it was the other one, it would be ichi, and it would sound different. Whatever. Not something that Duo will ever tell you about. Not that I mind. I think it's good learning practice every day. Oh yeah, so 5 in a row. I'm doing very well. I do feel validated. So far they're doing great. Continue. Match the pairs. Ni. I. Chi. Okay, we'll continue with this for now. Which one is 2? Which one is 2? Ni. And then this one, right? People would probably laugh at it, say, it's stupid, I can just look at the picture. Yes, but you're supposed to look at the picture. So for the last time, right? For the last time, I'm giving them a pass on this one. Because I think there's nothing wrong with this. It's just the issue that I would see is people turning off their brain and not actually looking at the kana or not actually listening, but just clicking on the picture. That's not as great. But if you do look at the picture and if you do try to read the kana, associating it with a picture of the number 2, there's nothing wrong with that. That is actually very good. If you learn to associate the sound ni with a picture of the number 2, there's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine. But you should actually try and train yourself to actually associate it, rather than just doing like a short circuit, like 2, click, done, right? So yeah, this is ni. Remember that you can always hover over words to see what they mean. Okay, now this is weird. This I don't understand. What are they trying to tell me? That ni means to, through, made? Okay, that is very confusing. I'm sorry, but I cannot defend this. This is extremely confusing. What is supposed to be my takeaway here? This doesn't make any sense. Through, maybe as like a particle? Yeah, that is very questionable, sadly. That is not great. What I think is happening is that Duo doesn't have a database per question, but rather per word. Particle along with the word meaning. Yeah, but made? What is the made one? I have never seen ni translated as made with the particle. Yeah, so this I find very, very questionable. I'd rather them provide context-specific translations. I understand it's not what they do though. So they probably just provide translations for the word and they go look it up in an internal dictionary and then they just spit out everything. These tools probably are not the best. 2, use keyboard. I mean, sure, but no. Bing. Ichi. 1. Okay, I'll keep continuing for now. I'm sure for ichi it must say some weird words for ichi as well. I didn't check. I wish I did. That's all fine, right? We're making a game out of it. I'm getting XP. There's little graphics. It's fun. I have no issue with that. I think that's fine. Okay, there's a bit much later. So now I learn that the word hiragana exists, but can I actually click anywhere that will tell me tips? Thank you. This is what I wanted. But I understand they don't want to show you this because reading is scary. I don't know. What do I think about this? What do we think about this, chat? I don't know, because the issue is, as anyone who's had to try and teach people something, reading is scary, okay? We all know it. You give someone a page to read, they're like, oh yeah, I'll read that. They'll never read it. They won't care. But is it better to throw them into the cold water and show them a bunch of hieroglyphics? I don't know. This is nice. Look, right? IPA Notes. Duolingo. Some people do read it. Yes. But I wish we would make the course for the people that do read it. But I guess that's not what it's for. IPA Notes. How cool is that, right? Most Kana guides don't even have IPA Notes. So this, big plus, okay? I'm gonna put this down. IPA guides. Very good. If you know your IPA, but honestly, who knows IPA? But if you do know your IPA, that's very good. That's very accurate. That's great. I've rarely seen anyone do that. I just wish they show you this first, or maybe give me the option to look at it, right? I understand. Again, what was it? Who was it who said it? The best with the tools they're given, right? If they were to spread all this information between the cards before, it would have been more efficient. Yeah, fair enough, right? That would probably be better. Like if I was presented the first hiragana character, the chi, and I was given a little exclamation mark that I could click on, and it would show me this page. Why not do that? I think that'd be better. I still don't have to read it, but I can. Like, at least I know what's going on. Maybe, fair enough. It was just one lesson. The fact that they give me this now is good. But then the fact that it's optional is again a little questionable. Like, at least show it to people once, maybe? But then I don't know. Because if you're serious, you should click on it. And if you're not serious, then do you really expect to make progress? I'm not sure. That's one of the issues, is Duolingo kind of markets itself as the way to learn the language that isn't boring and that isn't like, you know, too dull or whatever. So does Duolingo really want you to click on this? Or is everything on Duolingo telling you, no, don't click me, just play the game? I don't know. Like the ooh in food. Yes, but no. So the IPA is actually accurate, I think. This upside down M is actually the sound that is used, is the character that is used, but it's not the ooh in food. It's not. Because else we would say hood, right? We would say hood, but no one says hood. We say food. It's ooh. Can you hear the difference between ooh and I don't know. Again, questionable choice. They don't give an example for the others, so why give one here if it is so inaccurate? If you don't give me one for A, why give me one for if it is this inaccurate? I'm sorry. Cook. Closer. Cook would have been a better example, actually, you know? That's better. They should choose cook instead, because that's better. Yeah, cook. They just had but don't round your lips. Yeah, or even just cook. I think cook is such a better example, actually. She in sheep. Shh. So that is also only half true, sadly, but this is one I can live with. Sheep. Sheep. Shh. Shh. That's fine. Shitsure. And also, I'm not here to hate on Duolingo. I already praised them multiple times. And I will praise them gladly for this. I think this is actually really cool. The only reasonable way of introducing Kana would be either with sound recordings or with IPA transcriptions, because those are the only valid ways to talk about pronunciation, really, if we're being honest. Like, if we're being serious. That's nice. This is like, do this, right? Like, honestly, Tofugu Hiragana. This is better than the Tofugu Hiragana guide, because Tofugu doesn't... Well, I won't say it's better, because Tofugu is a lot more, I guess, in detail, maybe? But I would say it's like, it definitely has advantages that Tofugu doesn't have. Like, they do like this E in eel or whatever, so they do that, and they show you some fonts. But I'm personally not a great fan of this guide. I think it's just okay. I think that sadly, the availability of really good kana guides is actually less than there should be. And I think this is nice, but it's not perfect. And I think Duo does pretty much just as good of a job, so that's good. So this one, roughly be short between who and fu. Who and who. Am I supposed to say this, who and fu? I'm not gonna, by the way, I'm not gonna nitpick these too much. That's fine. So this is also a bit of a thing. Wa as a particle. That's obviously correct. We all know that. But do the people that read this know what a particle is? Then again, would I, how to do it better? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Just things that I notice. This is good. I like this though. Writing system, right? Hiragana, katakana, kanji. Katakana, kanji, and Chinese characters. This is fine. This is good. I would rate this a 8 out of 10 at least for kana guides. What do you think is the best guide for kana? Honestly, I like the one by Japanese Pot 101. I think this is my favorite because it has stroke order. It has an actual Japanese person pronouncing the sounds. It has different fonts. It has little pictures for you to look at. It has example words. Like something that I really, really like that I've never seen anywhere else is, check this out. There. Font variations. How good is that? How good is this? Why does not everyone do this? This is genius. Everyone should do this. If you're making a kana guide, you should do this. Put your font variations on there. So many people I see ask questions about, why does this character look different here? Different fonts. This is a good guide, honestly. It does a good job. Like lots of example words. They take their time. You have 2 hours. You can pause it. You can do everything, right? And you have an actual person pronouncing the words. Okay, let me just go to the homepage. It said it here. The best way to learn a language. Is it though? I just want to judge it on their own terms. That's it. Is it? And I don't care if it's the best way, okay? I get it's marketing. Obviously, you would put the best thing you can think of. But we can, I think, have an objective discussion about whether it's a good way to get started. But then, again, judging Duolingo as a platform to learn a language, not as a platform to hopefully get you interested so that you may leave the platform as soon as possible. I think that's a bit unfair. I don't think that's what they try to... I don't think that's what they want you to think they are, you know? That's what I... Yo. Alright, let's keep going. Sa. This is fine. Whatever. This is a good way to learn kana. You can just do it like that. Again, I just wish they would show some fonts maybe, but other than that, I don't have any complaints. Weird that it's a different voice now. I guess it's because it's a woman. 4. Sang. Again, this, I'm not sure about this one. Like, they should, I feel like it always, I don't know. I think it'd be better if they just turned this feature off. I don't know what to think about this. What, 3, Mr. or Miss? At this point, I feel like I'm being quizzed or like multiple choice, like which one is the real meaning. That's just unfortunate. Mr. Miss. So actually, they do turn it off at high levels, but then it's odd. That's yeah, sort of true, but sort of not. It's whether it's true or not is maybe not the right question to ask. But what we can say for sure is that it's confusing, right? Whether it's true or not, like for someone that tries not to confuse you as much as possible with the difficult parts of the language, they should just not maybe have that in there. Maybe. Nah. Cool. This is fine. Again, this is fine. You need repetition, so you're getting the repetition. Whatever. Nah. I have no issue with this. Just having you pick the things, like, fair enough. I would still think it'd be cool if they had, like, 2 fonts to choose from, like a Gothic and a Mincho font, but again, no one does, so can I really complain? Which of these is 7? Nana. Praise me. Thank you. Later. We'll do this now. Okay, let's think about it real quick. Well, actually, there's more katakana. Katakana 3. Why is katakana 3 there? Whatever, that's fine. Okay, what do we think about this? The good. Quizzing is good. There's nothing wrong with quizzing you, like over and over. That's fine, that's valid, and that is proven to work. I have no issue with that. Actually, it's probably gonna stick more so than for most people just reading this would. This guy provides mnemonics, But I also know a lot of people that really aren't into mnemonics. So if it's not for you, I'm not sure if this would really help you more. So fair enough, right? Like I'm not gonna complain about that. So what else was good? I mean, like, it's playful. It's certainly playful. It's fun, right? It's like a fun thing to do. I didn't feel like doing work, so, you know. The explanations are a little too hidden away for my taste. They're a little too hidden away. They're a little bit like, don't worry about it. You don't have to, yeah, forget it. It's just an extra thing. You don't have to worry about this. It's like, I wish they would show you this either way. Like, if I start this lesson for the first time, would I really click away if it showed me the text first and then I could click on OK and then start the lesson? I would prefer that. I think that would be fine. I don't think that would like ruin the Duolingo experience. I would prefer that. But again, personal preference. I think it'd be fine to expect people to read at least that much. There's not that much that I found horrible. Again, one font, I wish there was multiple, but I can't really blame them because no one uses multiple fonts other than this video. So, you know, I feel like you already know it and get everything right. It's not gonna feel like work unless it's really bad. Maybe. But then at some point you have to be willing to actually sit down and learn something. Not even, if you are unwilling to learn, not even Duolingo can help you, I'm afraid. So, let's see. I don't think we have to dwell too much on it. So my final verdict, muzai, not guilty. It's fine, okay? It's fine. It's a fine way to learn kana. Not the best, but by far not the worst. Checkpoint. Let's try the checkpoint. Test out of 8 skills. Let's go. Oh well, there's katakana. A whole new challenge to be face to face. Yeah. So I guess we could write that down. That's more a general complaint, but like dictionary feature more confusing than helpful. Or maybe add a note or something helpful. Like at the end of the day, I get it, right? This app was written for European languages for the most part, and there you probably don't need that, but Japanese is a bit weird, and like Asian languages or Southeast Asian, or well, Japanese is its own language family, but just like languages especially that use character scripts like Chinese, Japanese, it's just very different, and yeah, certain things just don't click as well. You can write America with this. America. Let me write America. America. Continue. Sha. Okay, we're doing Yong. Was this explained? I would think so, right? Select the characters for cha. Cha. Where's cha?
Cha.
Cha. Also, by the way, I reflexively repeat what I hear, so I would probably do this even if I was by myself. And even if I know them, my habit is to often repeat what I hear almost immediately. It goes so far that when walking around, I often imitate sounds I hear. So if someone's phone rings or whatever, I'll like whisper the tune to myself just because my brain is programmed to imitate any sound it hears. So I would probably do this even if I was by myself. Ne, I just like that. It's Sweden. That's a pretty difficult katakana word because of ue, right? Ueden. Not many people learn that easily. Kirsten Bell is the same thing.
Warsaw?
Oh, Warsaw. I don't know how to spell that. Wait, how do you spell Warsaw? Warsaw. Wait, is that
Warsaw?
Warsaw? I'm just hearing bad shower. What is Warsaw? Is that Warsaw? Warsaw. Yeah, it's Warsaw. I don't know how to spell that. Once again, English was the more difficult language. I just heard like bad, like Warsaw. Europa.
Africa?
Africa. Nice to meet you. I'm John. はじめまして。ジョン。人。違う。ジョンです。ジョン出身です。I mean, if he's from John, maybe there's a city called John. 切る。I mean, can I type, well, like, To wear? It means all of these things, so will anyone do, I guess? I don't know. Will any of these work? Yeah. Well, now I'm curious if to cut would have worked as well. すいません. すいません. I'll tell, like, the official way to write すみません is actually すい。私よりうまいです。いや、そうなんですか？
お願いします。
お願いします。I will say, and I think the burden placed on something like Duolingo to try and teach you Japanese is very high. Because, in my opinion, some of the hardest things to learn in Japanese are some of the first things that you have to learn. The concept of the writing system is some of the first stuff you will have to grapple with. Grapple with, I guess, yeah. And it's some of the hardest stuff to get your head around. So, and like another thing is like all of these phrases like お願いします, はじめまして, よろしくお願いします. These are some of the more difficult phrases, but it's some of the first ones you have to learn. It's unfair. It is how it is, but it is rough. And then also the first part of grammar that you learn is definitely going to be the most difficult. When you first learn about the sentence structure, when you first learn about particles, all of these things that you've probably never heard about, that's the hardest part. But yeah, at the end of the day, you should do what it is that you want to do, because then you will find the most appropriate practice. I think that most of these problems only exist because people lose motivation really fast. So what you're doing is not actually giving them the best way to learn. It's you're trying to understand, how can I make this person not lose interest the best way? And then that will automatically lead to them learning the most, because at the end of the day, it's what drives them to actually do the thing. But I'm pretty sure that if we could turn off that part of our brain that makes us lose interest, we could probably all go through a similar program and come out the other side pretty good at the language. 3, 3.
3.
I kind of just want to go through this. Natsu. I can't use the kanji, that's good. Thank you. Look at it and give an informed opinion. So far I've just looked at kana and I think it's okay. I think it's fine. It has good points, it has bad points. It's fine. Spain, we'll go all, let me try something. Spain. Spain. Let me try something. What? That is unacceptable. This is definitely Spain. Okay, minus 100 points. That is totally Spain. Look, Spain. This is the official Atiji version of Spain. This tomfoolery. Minus 100 points. Should I report it? Too good for Duolingo to understand. I feel like they should allow that, no? Earlier I wrote Natsu and kanji and it was allowed. Yeah, it must be an oversight. Okay, I'll do a report. The audio, the dictionary hints, the other is missing dictionary hints. The answer should be accepted. Actually, I think the answer should be accepted. Read the discussion board. Did someone already talk about this? Why not? Should accept it. Natsu. Because they accepted this, right? Like, but oh, of course they want English. Hey Lorenzi, about the question. Oh really? Oh gosh, I should have clicked. Dirty. Kitanai. Oh, kitanai. Okay, cool.
私
Whether your answer was right or wrong. Speech bubble, a question about the question. Oh, okay. Why does it say is like the uncooked? I wonder that too. I wish it didn't, but it does. It's unfortunate. We've learned that the kana learning experience on Duolingo is I guess verdict. Duo and not don'to. Very good computer generated recordings. I think they're very good. I think they're good enough for the kana. Like, you can hate on computer generated recordings, and I think one can reasonably hate on them. It would be nice if they had native speakers saying it, but they're good enough. I think they're clear enough for just the kana. They have IPA guides, very good. They quizzes is a valid way of learning. It's playful, and they have written explanations. They're just kind of hidden. They only have one font. They don't give you the intro right away. So just, even if it's just this one sentence, I'd have preferred that. Like the O in food, use cook instead. Who says cook? Well, it's closer than oo in food, right? That was the complaint. Cook, I think, is close enough, actually. Cook was close enough. Like, cook is Now, in all reasonability, there is no sound like this in English, but if there was one, it would be closer to cook than it is to food. That's what I was getting on about. Like, either use cook or don't use anything. Don't use food. Because they had some of them they didn't have explanations for many of them, but food is just such a bad example. The explanations are too hidden away. I think they are. The dictionary feature is very confusing, but it's still fine. And we'll get to some other stuff. Ooh is different from Can we just, once and for all, Japanese uses like taberu right? And not and not and not whatever. But it's pretty close to the Scottish one, to be fair. Wait, that's how you say Uber? Yeah, Uber Eats. Uber. Well, I'm not sure what other people say though. Okay, what I want to do now. Okay, so we've reviewed the kana. Okay, intro. I should try some more. Okay, start. Let's do a credit profile later. Okay, now I want to see what the test is like. Whatever. Okay. Brain. It's all about the no. Intense. Speedrun first checkpoint. No, go away. Continue. No. All right, I want to do this now. Let's make some notes for H1 placement test. I want to see how that works. Considering this is one of Duo's most popular courses, it's a shame it's not better. 1. 1. Let's get the pitch right, shall we? If you've been talking about pronunciation. 1. Good morning. おはようございます。
おはよう。
Teacher, good morning. おはよう先生。なんかノリがいいな。もうおはようございます。おはようございます。
ございます。
This is another thing. First of all, it's a bit weird that they use two different voices for the ございます。
ございます。
Again, this would be something that would be cool if you could hire some voice actors or some people to just voice over these lines. I mean, how many is it? Like a few hundred to maybe 1,000 or so? Not impossible. They could hire people to do this. You know, that'd be great. That'd be amazing. Right now is a bit weird if we have two different people, or I mean, they're computer voices, so I'm not sure if they're different people essentially, but like two different pronunciations for
ございます。
it's just a bit weird.
先生。
Sensei. At least it sounds Japanese, you know? But personally, my opinion on pitch is that while I care about it and I will tell you about it and I will try and like make you aware of it, I don't think you need to care about it because it's not something that will make or break your Japanese. Really, it isn't. But it can make your Japanese sound a whole lot nicer. And if that's something you care about, then pitch is just part of the things that you'll have to learn. Just like all the other things that I talk about in that video, like devoicing, which is very important. Knowing when it is shi and knowing when it is shi. So for example, like shigoto, right? It's shigoto. But what would be one with shi devoiced? Like maybe kakushi, I guess. Yeah, something like that. Kakushigo. I'm not so sure. With hashi, it depends. It's not often devoiced. Shikata. Very good. Thank you. Shinan. Or shiteki. Yeah, those are good examples. Thank you. I should have just done anything that has like a consonant afterwards. But yeah, so shikata is actually a really good one because almost everyone says shikatanai rather than shikata. Like if you listen very carefully, you'll see that native speakers rarely say shikata. They say shikata. There's actually no e in there. It's completely gone. Shikata, shikatanai, shikatanai, right? That's devoicing. It's the disappearance of the vowels. It's the same for this. Like, rarely will you hear a pronounced desu. Sometimes it happens. It's not completely wrong, but often it's devoiced to this. Sensei, arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you, teacher. I guess it's wait. I mean, sentences start with capital letters, so context clues, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Teacher, thank you. What? Okay, fair enough. Well, whatever. 3 in a row. It is exactly 8:30. ちょうど.
ちょうど
8:30 would be 8時半.
8時半。
Okay, well, again, like the grouping ji and han Like, why not group hachiji and han? Like, why? Why this grouping? What's with the bear? The bear is just there, I guess. This is not ideal grouping.
自販
Jihan. Now it just sounds like jihanki. It just reminds me of like a machine, right? What are they called? Jihanki or whatever. ちょうど8時半です。
です
ちょうど8時半です。Boo! That's not ideal. I wish they would group 8時 and then han as its own. Vending machine, yeah. 自動販売機, yeah, exactly. There it is. That's the one.
今は7時ちょうどです。
今は7時ちょうどです。7時ちょうど。普段はね、ちょうど7時の方がちょっと、なんていうか、I feel like usually you would say ちょうど7時, but it's not really wrong to put the ちょうど afterwards. Okay, 今は7時ちょうどです。It is exactly 7 o'clock, not clock o. That sounds like an enemy in a game. そうです。That is right? I mean, again, そうです can... Okay, cool. That is right, you know? Yo. Oh, they translate yo as you know. Okay. I can already think of what we're gonna write down. It is a desk. 机です。
机です
椅子が7つあります。Also, using the kanji for 椅子. Okay, let's go. Desks. Wait. There are 7 chairs, not desks. 8 in a row. Can someone tell me how Duolingo introduces kanji? How does that work? Because I did not see that. It just kind of came up. It makes me wonder. With names? With names? Really? They just start using kanji for words. Oof. That is rough. That is rough. Because here, they say that kanji exist, but then they don't... Duolingo does bad with kanji. Yeah, kanji learning is not good. Ooh, that is rough. That is definitely one of the bigger minus points then. I don't know how people don't get horribly confused with that. The thing is with that is that it's a very poor foundation for getting you started forms that talks more about kanji. Okay, but again, that sounds so hidden away. That's unfortunate. I wish they would do a little bit more upfront. Because if you don't go and read that article, it's just a very poor foundation for doing anything after you've either grown sick of or finished Duolingo. Because you probably know some stuff, but you also, there are certain skills that you can learn that are really helpful, like how do I use a dictionary in Japanese, or like what are Japanese dictionaries that you probably miss out on, and these kind of dictionary conventions I think would be useful to learn. But that's actually, you know, I feel like that's something that a lot of learning platforms miss out on. Almost no one talks about this dot notation. Have you ever seen a textbook or a guide tell you what this dot means? I think it happens, but it's very rare, and I feel like it's a bit of a disservice. This is something that should be mentioned because every dictionary uses this notation. Well, every English to Japanese dictionary. Japanese dictionaries use other kind of weird notations, but I think they know the dot as well. That is the Okurigana notation. It's easy to get the dot though. Yeah, but back to like, just because something can be deduced eventually, should you not mention it to make it easier for people? Because I've had tons of people ask me about this. Like, sure, eventually you should understand it, but still, it's confusing enough that I've answered this question like dozens of times about like, hey, what is up with this weird dot? I don't think it's obvious. I think it is non-trivial. I think it's non-obvious. Not good. Yeah, so most dictionaries will use a dot to mark okurigana. So if you look up like kaeru, you will see that the kanji for kaeru will have its okurigana marked like this. So you know that for kaeru, you actually don't say kaeru, right? You say kaeru. People don't really ever get taught how to use a dictionary because actually being able to use a dictionary is such a useful skill. Yeah, sure, you'll figure it out eventually, but it would be easier if someone just told you, right? It'd be easier if that's not knowledge you gotta go looking for. It'd be easier if that's just like accepted, like today we're gonna learn how you can look up your own words. And then we're gonna learn that, right? I think that's actually something to think about. I eat breakfast. 朝
朝
Asagohan. Hirugohan and bangohan is together, but then asagohan is what? Asagohan wo
を
tabemasu. That is confusing. Why split up asagohan but keep hirugohan and bangohan together? That is incredibly confusing. Okay, that's something that we need to mark as a negative point. The grouping is very weird. This is a souvenir from the United States. これは
これは
アメリカ
アメリ
の
カの
お土産。お土産です。I mean, again, you could put omiyage together, right? Like, right? Like you could do that. Like, it wouldn't be a big deal. Because, like, do they ever explain what the o even is? I don't think they do. I don't think they ever explain. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a horse. I'm sorry, I'm a horse.
おじいさんはおいくつですか？
おじいさんはおいくつですか? How old is... Oh, I guess they want your grandfather. Future. The future.
おかえりなさい
Imagine reading something and then there's a space between asa and gohan. It's very weird. おかえりなさい. Welcome back. Well, welcome home. Wait. どっちでもええやん。ちょっと待って。Well, I guess welcome home is closer. Okay. Wait, welcome back! Oh, another correct solution. Okay, thank God. That's fine. I'm okay with that. That's fine. That's fine. I bought brown clothes. 茶色の
の
服
服
を
を
買いました。
買いました。
どうしてなんかこう、質問のように聞こえるんだけど、ちょっと
ました
ましたましたよそうだよ、買いましたよ。そう聞かれてもな、返事は同じっすよ。What does a bear need clothes for? Also, brown clothes especially. Imagine beginner Texas space is pretty my brain.
強い風が吹いています。
Like Pokemon. 強い。
怖い
あ、違う。強い風が
風が
吹い
吹い
ていま。
ますす。
That's, I know, like, this one I'm not even mad about, to be honest. I think breaking up verbs like this is actually fine. Stem, te, iru. But, well, actually, I say that it's not fine, though, because that's not the stem. Theoretically, the te form is its own thing. So it's not fine, right? It's actually not fine, because the te form doesn't really work like that. Because you couldn't break up, like what I mean by that is, well, it works for, wait, where's my, there it is. It works for fuku, coincidentally, right? Because we can do like fuku, and then we can do hui, and then plus te. But that's not really how it works, right? Because usually we would say te form is one conjugation, right? That doesn't really work. We would have to more think about it in terms of like fuite, because then other conjugations work differently, like fukimasu, right? So because the other ones would be fuki, fuki plus something. So no, this doesn't really work as like a stem. It's misleading, sadly, because then you get into other words that are problematic. For example, like let's say katsu, right? Katsu. Let's say you have katsu. Cuts. Well, how do you separate that? Do you go ka? Like, do you go like this? Like, no. Like, that doesn't make any sense, right? So then, is this one? Do we not split this one, but we split the other one? Again, questionable choices. Yeah, not great. Not great. I think they make it more like card games. Yeah, it's just the way they choose to do it is unfortunate.
強い風が吹いています。
I think te forms should be one thing. I just don't know if this is, helpful. Why not keep it together? Why not keep it together? At least so you can kind of understand how these forms kind of work in real Japanese. I would have no problem if they started separating like this. Fuite, and then separate iru or imasu, right? That's fine. That's actually a perfectly fine grammatical way to think about separating the stem from the auxiliary. But then separating the te here is just unfortunate, because while you can do that, the current te forms just don't really work like that anymore. We're not back in like what 100 years ago where the te form of fuku was actually fukite. Well, if we were still in the time when this was the te form, then yeah, you could do that. But sadly, those days are over. So, yeah, let's go back to fukite. It's much better. ちょっとががないんですが、風強くない？強くない
ない
ですか？
ですか？
Oh, we're dropping the particle now. Okay.
フォークを1本ください。
フォーク
フォ
を
ークを
1
1本
ください。
ください。
My brother doesn't understand the difference between 話します and 話せます。Yeah, I mean, like he wouldn't, right? I don't think it would ever even mention it.
また今日は晴れです。
また今日は晴れです。Today is sunny again in Warsaw.
5月5日は何曜日ですか？
What weekday is the 5th of May? What day of the week? Okay, listen. What weekday? That's fine, right? But whatever. I'm not gonna report it either, though. Wait, what weekday is the 5th of May? Game grammar is fine. Game grammar did nothing wrong. My neighbor is listening to music loudly with other resources for other skills. Yeah. How do I go to the bank? I don't know. On foot. どうやってNever mind. They do split it up like that. I was wrong. They do actually though. Yeah. これちょっとね。いや。Okay, sure. We can split it up like this if you want. Duolingo. It's your website. Go ahead. どうやって Whatever. I'm fine with it. I guess they want to split it up like that because except they don't. Oh gosh. It's not consistent. That's sad. That's something I could fix easily. And it would be better for it. どうやって銀行まで行きますか？
道は向こうです。
いや、これはね、日本語ごめん。日本語おかしいだろ。これは日本語のせいじゃなくて、ドーリンゴのせいですよ。この場合だと。まあ確かに日本はね、どの言語でもこうおかしい点があるんだけど、この場合だと明らかにドオリンゴの方がおかしい。道は向こうです。The road. Oh, I was thinking of way. The road is over there. Oh, the road is over there, isn't it? 道は向こうです。I got this wallet from my mother. 母に、まあお母さん。母に。この財布は多分この財布は母にもらいました。どうやって I would split up small two and どうやって so people have to remember there's a gem and a consonant in the word. Yeah, but again, what we've heard is that they don't do that always. So then like at least stay consistent. Though I still don't think it'd be a good way of splitting it up. But who knows? I broke up with my girlfriend last year. 去年彼女と別れました。There's always like the ones that sound like questions. 別れ別れたよ。別れましたよ。残念ながら。別れました。Like, we get like korone levels of pitch accent here. おかしい。ちょっと。They're not sure anymore. 別れました Review, wait, equip, sure. Alright, so they put me at this level, whatever that means. Checkpoint 2. Okay, checkpoint Charlie. This much, huh? I guess I didn't do so well. So, like, I had what? Two mistakes, right? So the placement test definitely doesn't, like, overrate you, that's for sure. So, yeah. Okay, let's review. The placement test, it won't overrate anyone. It's a bit weird. I guess they must just like count the answers that you get right and then place you based on that. I can't imagine anything else. Also, another thing I imagine is if you take the placement test, they don't want you to just skip the whole course. They still want you to do it and hopefully pay for it. Now, that's okay. Katakana. Let me just see tips. Okay, so we have this. I'm interested in these tips. Dakten. So like these are great. Aren't these, am I wrong? These are the ones that they actually added after the critique, right? So these notes they added. And I do think they did a good job with it. It's not too long, but it's got it all. It's got everything you need more or less. And the IPA notes are very commendable, even though I would assume most people don't have any idea how to read IPA. But it's, you know, good effort. I appreciate it. Tips. Yeah. Introduction to kanji. Thank you. Thank you. I just don't know how many people click on this. I don't know how many people click on this. Just like, I don't know. Am I wrong? You can say if I'm wrong, but just make people look at it. The first time they click on the lesson, show them this. Don't ask. Just show it to them, please. I mean, I don't know, but like you don't have to read it. You can skip it. But you can like just show this to me, man. Like I feel bad for the person who wrote it, you know? Like someone had to sit down and read and write this, and then like I don't even know how many people click on it because I probably just don't start. Let's go, man. Look at this. People that know. Listen, the people that wrote this knew language learning. This isn't just some rando that wrote it. Okay, like this is kind of the phrasing that it's actually like very specific phrasing. This phrasing is almost too linguistic for what I would expect on Duolingo, like non-phonetic, right? Kanji literally means Chinese characters and used to build characters. Kanji, so do you read kanji? Most kanji have at least 2 possible readings. Typically one reading is derived from native Japanese. This is perfectly fine. This is so good. Just make me read it, please. It is on its own, we use Japanese kunyomi reading, kuni. In Japanese, kuni means country. However, compounds use onyomi. Compounds we use the onyomi reading there for China, Chugoku, middle country. This is great too, because you know what? They don't even fall into the trap of telling you that by themselves it's always kunyomi and with others it's always onyomi. They even avoid that trap by picking one specific kanji for which it happens to be true. And that's fine. I don't think when you first encounter kanji, someone needs to tell you all the exceptions. But I also don't think it's good to tell people like wrong things, like it's always this or it's always that. So they kind of avoid that by taking a specific kanji like kuni and looking at it specifically. And that's great. Fortunately, reading the tips and discussion, that's very good. I applaud that. I think it's very good. If your friend is like that, he also has the best foundation to actually do something after Duolingo, where you also need that same amount of engagement, where you need like, well, now you're on your own, you need to actually engage with it. Yeah, rendaku too. I feel like someone that really knew what they were talking about sat down and had to write these things after the backlash of like, hey, you need to actually explain this. But then, you know, at least show it to people. More katakana. Greetings. What do we have here? Saying thanks. I feel like just, oh man. Seeing all these is improving my opinion of Duolingo. And at the same time, I think it's really sad that I would bet that over half of the people never see these. I might be wrong. I would love to see the stats on that if they have them. I would bet more than half of the people never even look at this at all. The question marker, ka. This is fine. This is the same kind of thing you would find in a grammar guide. It's not wrong. It's fine. It's good. I think that's like my main... That would be my... If someone of Duolingo, right, Yves, what can we improve? I would say that. Show the tips page the first time you click on the lesson. Why not? Who's getting hurt? No one's getting hurt with that. I'm actually surprised. I didn't know. The location and time particle. The directional particle. This is good info. But you need to show it to people. You need to know. The people need to know. I feel like Duolingo, Japanese Duolingo would be better if this was the required part and the quizzes were the optional part. But yeah. I feel like the issue is that the kind of person that can get the most out of Duolingo is already the kind of person that can get even more out of something else, right? I mean, don't you kind of agree with that? Like, the person that is engaged and interested enough to go read all of this every single time, that person would probably be even better suited for just reading freaking Taikim's Guide or something, right? I mean, yes, it's dry. And also, by the way, Taikim's Guide is not perfect. I will say that. This guide is not perfect. It's good though. I feel like the person that is so diligent that they go read all of these because they are actually good is actually a person that would be more suited to use a different resource. And that's the irony of it. That's the irony of Duolingo, is that the best thing you can do on Duolingo is not you. I don't know. I don't want to say it like that, but like, isn't it kind of true? But I do think, I guess some people really, really rely on the gamification part. Maybe the gamification part is so powerful for some people that it's either that or they're not going to do it at all, right? It's either that or not at all. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, we should definitely have a vote, right? Wouldn't write those, didn't want eyes on them. Yeah, it's just as someone, so you may not know, right? But I've been a moderator on this server for a long time, Nihongo to Eigo. And this server has like 30,000 people. I've been a mod here for a long time, like a few years, like 4 years or something. And people come here to ask questions every day. And in the last 4 years, I've just seen like the same kinds of question, and everyone that comes from Duolingo has the same issues. Like they are, most of the time they're confused about kanji, they're confused about grammar, and they can't really read like sentences other than what's on Duolingo. It's like always kind of the same things. And to be honest, a lot of those problems could probably be resolved just by reading all of these explanations. But again, I suspect most people don't do that. That's also like my experience. Learning Japanese has just already been fun enough. I didn't need like it to be gamified. Because I bought a manga after learning for a few months, and I sat down and I could read manga, you know? Was I good at it? No, it took me like an hour to read a page. But man, that's pretty fun. I don't know, like maybe I just have a definition of making learning fun. But I just did what I wanted to do, and I never even got the idea. Well, to be fair, when I started learning, Duolingo didn't have Japanese, and yeah, it was kind of a little different. It was over 10 years ago, so it was a little different, right? But it wasn't all that different. Taikim's Guide still existed, all of that. All right, back to our H1 overall. H2, the good. The tips explanations are from the 4 or so that I've now read. They're on the same level of quality that I would say a Taikim's Guide is, just like not as much information and probably not as many different topics, but the type of explanation that they use is not bad in terms of quality, and it's correct, like it makes sense, and it's also not oversimplified. They don't shy away from using words like particles or phonetic or stuff like that, almost more than I thought they would. It's fun. It is fun, kind of. It's not fun for me, but I won't say it's not fun in general. Let's just do the bad real quick, so I can, the bad. The way they split up words is questionable at best. Like the word split up, example, hui, te, and ya, te. That's just, I don't like that. And then yatte, the other example was more asa plus, wait, why is it certainly different? Asa plus gohan, but ban gohan, etc. So that's questionable at best. Would still be fun if you had no idea what's going on though. I don't know. Apparently, right, a lot of people do it, and they, like, I've seen a lot of people use Duolingo for a while, and then they come, like, they use it for a long time, and it seems to be fun for them, but then they eventually suddenly realize something, and they show up on some Discord server or some Reddit very confused, so I'm not sure. Those are like, I know these are like really harsh words, but sometimes I don't understand people. I should be, okay, to be fair, there are some people, and there are a good amount of people that have to learn Japanese or any language out of necessity because they ended up in Japan somehow, or because of family reasons, or because of other reasons that they don't have control over. And if you are in that situation, you probably have to learn whether you enjoy it or not. But if you're not in that situation, there's a lot of people that I see that like spend most of their time just complaining about how much it sucks, and it makes me wonder, like, why are they doing it? Isn't it something you should enjoy? Maybe you can find a way to make it more enjoyable for you. You know, and like, if all it gives you is pain and suffering, maybe you should find something else to do. And again, I'm excluding the people that need to do it out of necessity. Obviously, that's a different thing. But if you have like a hobby and you're like, I'm gonna learn Japanese as a hobby, and then all it does is make you miserable, then you should look for a different hobby. But not before you've explored different ways of doing the hobby, maybe. Like, not before you've like tried some different things, or maybe ask for help, okay? Not just like on the first day, if you're like, well, this sucks, just don't just stop, obviously. But if you spend this much time and it just, no matter what you do, maybe it's just not for you. Or maybe try again in a few years when you're in a different headspace. I don't know. Okay, wait, good explanations are buried. Translation, sentence, structure, too strict. I'm not sure if this is clear. You know, when I typed like the one with the month, something like the 5th of the month or the 5th month or something like that. It was a bit too strict. I'm pretty sure my English was decent enough there and it still was wrong. That's a kind of a small one, but yeah. Like the whole issue with making those sentences, the 5th of May versus May 5th, something like that, you know. Like that's just an issue that comes with the system. Like, you know, you have to look at so many different possibilities, but I mean, they made up the system, so they need to deal with the consequences. Gives you structure and makes routine easy. That's true. Word splitting leads to wrong readings. So the example that I can think of that actually happened was click on Toki, get, or hear Toki. Click on Kang. You click on Kang, you hear Ida, right? Hear Ida. Put in sentence as jikan, and here jikan. Verdict. I would say too many issues to call it good, but also much better in some aspects than I expected. I haven't used an app like this for learning in a long time, but Lingo Deer was always way better than Duolingo. I should check out Lingo Deer. That's something that we can definitely do because I've heard a lot about Lingo Deer. Hey, you know what? Also, by the way, while you're all still here, if you enjoyed anything I did today, do consider joining my Discord server, because not only can you talk to me there, you can also get stream notifications, and you can also join for the what has now come back, an event that has now come back, the weekly reading sessions where we do reading, all of us together. And that's free, and everyone can join every week on Saturday. But also, you can join on Discord if you just want to be like, hey, Yves, can you do this? Because reviewing these apps, I think, is kind of fun. What are we learning today? I made, for context, if you don't know me, all the usernames I've taken, I think I've seen you before, maybe, I'm not even sure anymore, I'm sorry. But I just went through Duolingo, and I did some entry stuff, and I had the placement test, and I thought about what I think about it. And the result of it is basically this document. It's not very long, so yeah. Verdict. Better than Duolingo. Okay, well, you know what? We should check out Duolingo. And again, if you do join the Discord and you have other stuff you want me to check out, I'll gladly do it. It sounds like fun. Hello, everyone. It sounds like something I'd like to do more of. That includes textbooks too. I think maybe reviewing learning materials could be something cool to do. And also, I think it really gave me a lot of ideas for what I want to do in the future, because we talked about what are good ways to learn kana, and I really only have like the one video that does it all. I really would like to make a written version of that, and I might sit down and do that, because also if you go to gamegrammar.com, I have this here, and I do want to do more. But yeah, so I want to write more of these articles, and I want to write one about kana only, I've started at some point writing about the Japanese writing system as a whole, including its history, because it's very interesting. And I would love to do that. So I want to write more. So right now, those are the only 2 that I've written. There's a lot of information on here, but yeah. Okay, verdict, right? I think Duolingo still has too many issues to really call it good. It has some things that really surprised me, like the written explanations are so much better than I thought they would be. Really cool. I just wish they would sort of force you to at least look at them once. The way that it splits up, you know, the words is not good. It's unfortunately not good at all. It's very bad. It's misleading. It doesn't help. And it has some issues that we talked about. Like you click on, you click on this kanji, you click on that kanji. There's 2 different sounds. And they come together and suddenly it's a different one. Confusing again. Yeah. It's all a bit... Let's just say this, okay? The best way to learn a language, it is not. I think that would be my review. The best way to learn a language, it is not. But it might get you started, and it might teach you the kana. That's probably what I have to say. It will most likely get you started somehow. It will probably confuse you. More than likely, you will be confused about some things. If you read all the explanations, maybe less than I thought you would. So that's good. And you will eventually move away from it and probably find something else. Duolingo will not get you anywhere near the level you need to be to read by yourself. So once you finish Duolingo, you'll still have a long way ahead of you to like self-sufficiently actually doing reading and listening practice. So more likely than not, after Duolingo, you will have to go look for another beginner intermediate resource to use. Because sadly, Duolingo doesn't get you that far. As from what I've heard, I haven't finished the course, but I'm pretty sure that's true. People who have finished it have said as much. I actually have the kana up here, right? The kana learning experience. The good. Computer-generated recording, IPA guides, quizzing is a valid way. It's playful, they have written explanations. Only 1 font. Where's the intro? Well, we found the intro, but it was sort of after the first exercise, which I don't approve of. This thing here is just unfortunate. Like, if you're not Scottish, then, food. If you don't say the word food like a Scottish person, as in food, then you are not gonna understand the character. This is almost as, like, this here is almost enough for me to write them, because I feel like that's just an oversight. Like, this just is, I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is just an oversight. This cannot be what they really want you to think. From everything else that's in here, I think someone just wasn't thinking and like put that there. Or they were actually Scottish, I don't know. Because you shouldn't pronounce this as ooh. You should not. Food. Ooh. That would be very wrong. So yeah. I don't know. This would be an easy fix. Just like, hey, no. And even if you go look for this character, right? It's not what you're gonna hear.
Ooh.
Ooh. I don't think someone says food, right?
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
they have the correct IPA, but that's just not how we say food. Especially only if you're like a really specific accent. So this one here, no, please don't. Sound make when someone accidentally punches you in the stomach. Ooh, yeah, that would be better. But yeah, other than that, it's decent. I think the kana learning experience is not a bad one. And you'll probably come away knowing the kana just as well as someone who used something like this, Tofugu's guide. I don't think you're losing out using Duolingo to learn the kana. Like, I will say that. I feel comfortable saying that. I don't think you're like losing out compared to doing something like this. I still think Japanese Pod 101 kana. I still think this video is better. But I like videos, so maybe it's just me. But I do think this video has objectively some points that make it a lot better, like the font variations, the fact that you have real people saying the words, which is just so much better.
No is also what,
etc, etc. And yeah, it also has stroke orders. It really has it all. It has a kana table. You know what I miss? Maybe call me a purist, but I miss a kana table. Good old kana table. Not having a kana table, it feels like something's missing. Not that it's required, but it's like such a classic, you know? This is a kana table. Yeah, but it's not the Gozuon kana table is what I mean. I love the gojuon kana table. This one, aiue o kakikuki go. Did it get out of fashion? I don't think so. This is still how you learn it in Japan, I think. I just like the gojuon kana table. Like, this is just a nice table. Why not use it? Okay, but yeah, that's it. I think the kana learning experience is fine. The dictionary feature is more confusing than helpful. I stand by that, and everyone else agrees. Verdict, fine, but not the best by far. Duo. Oh, also, here I will go with donto. Because this was all about duo or donto. And yes, that's a horrible pun, but yeah. It's been fun, but I think this is where we stop for today.